Evening. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. Tonight's topic, the Republicans need to create a new health care bill. The Republicans need to create a new health care bill. As you know, Donald Trump, during the campaign, he said we need to repeal and replace Obamacare. That sounds good, right? Well, the Republicans tried to replace Obamacare, but with Obamacare Light. Now, in the bill, what I saw in it were tax credits and also the mandates for having everybody having to have health insurance or they would be penalized through the IRS. That was gone. Now, what was in it, you can still keep your kids on your parents' health care plan till they're 26 years old. And in states, they would be in charge of expanding their Medicaid or Medicare programs. Sounds good, right? Wrong. Looking at the total bill, it was Obamacare Light. In fact, the premiums would have been raised even higher. It would have been more expensive. I think it's expensive now. And then according to, depending on what source you saw, over 10 years, you would have 24 million people without health insurance. I want to tell you something about health insurance. Health insurance is a privilege, not a right. Now, should it be a right? It should be a right. But if you want it to be a right, then you should have your own health insurance through exchanges. That's basically what Obamacare is. Now, the exchanges aren't bad. The problem is my premium has been raised so it could cover individuals who aren't working. To me, that's not fair. Why should somebody who is not putting their grind on get free insurance? See, that's the problem when you talk about redistribution of wealth, because that's what Obamacare was. Now, certainly, should we help the poor? Yes, I don't mind helping out the poor. But the people who are getting hosed are the working people. You're rich, they're not getting hosed, and you're poor, they're not getting hosed. All of us working people who are considered middle class, we really drive this country. In fact, I'm going to connect the dots to yesterday's video. We're considered slaves. Why? Because we're working for peanuts, a wage. We're not getting promotions, but we're doing all the heavy lifting for the poor and the rich. Now, for the health care bill, again, what the Republicans have to do before they even present the bill, they need to get together and talk about what they agree with or what they disagree with. Now, Paul Ryan, who is the House Majority Leader, or correction, he's the Speaker of the House. He's the third person in command. He said it's too expensive. I believe it is very expensive. See, the problem with any government program is that the legislators who are trying to legislate this new law, they're not part of the health care program. They're not part of the Social Security program. That's a problem. I don't see why we can't get the same type of health insurance that our Congress people get, our state representatives get. Remember something. These politicians are supposed to represent the people, but they don't represent the people. They represent big unions or big business, lobby groups, special interest groups, and other groups who are supplying these politicians with money. You see, politics in this country is an oligarchy. It's for the rich, by the rich. How many jobs can you say start at $100,000 and when you leave, you're a millionaire? Not many, unless you're a football player. But going back to the health care bill, this is all you need to put in the health care bill, and it would work. Certainly, you have to tweak it a little bit. I have a few items. The first order of business is very simple. We live in a litigious society. So, number one, let's have tort reform. Loser pays. That will alleviate the malicious lawsuits. Because the more lawsuits you have, that also drives up the cost of insurance. Number two, government oversight on what insurance companies can charge. Number three, if you don't have insurance, we're already paying for it anyway as taxpayers. Allow individuals with no insurance to go to free clinics. Number four, if you're a small business, very simple. Get umbrella insurance under the Small Business Association, the Chamber of Commerce, or small businesses can form their own group plans and they can get insurance at discounted rates. And number five, if you want the free market to take over, let's have insurance across state lines. When you do that, it creates a monopolistic competition. That's what you want. Number six, if you want to reduce your deductible, have HSAs, health savings accounts. The reason why I like health savings accounts is if you have something wrong with you and you don't have enough insurance to cover that service you need, the HSA, you have money on an HSA debit card, you can use the health savings account to cover the cost of the service that you need. Let's say you have a broken knee. Your insurance, let's say it covers $8,000. Okay? Let's say the total cost of the surgery is $12,000. Well, if you have $4,000 in your health savings account, utilize your HSA debit card for $4,000. Now you covered that $12,000. Very simple. The problem with a lot of these politicians is they really don't know what they're doing. Now, I will say this about the Republican Party. They are discussing the bill. Problem with the Democrats, they just ran the bill through with the nuclear option because they had the majority. The cloture option, you need 60 votes. They weren't going to get 60 votes. The Republicans, the House bill today, that didn't make it. They weren't going to get 216 votes. But I'm glad the Republicans conversed enough to not pass this bill. It would have been a disaster. So what the Republicans have to do, they need to sit down with medical professionals, insurance companies, and other individuals in the insurance industry who can give the Republicans more insight about the industry. You have to realize that healthcare is 1/6 of the industry, and we don't need the government running it. And when I say 1/6, the industry is part of the economy. There's a lot of money to be made in insurance, and there's nothing wrong with making money. However, when the government makes any legislation, you must be careful with the bills that they set out. Because the Democrats put in that 3,300-page health care bill, and Nancy Pelosi said, before you read it, we're going to put the bill out, and then once you read it, you'll know what's in it. Well, it doesn't make any sense to not read the bill before you put it out. That's what the Democrats did. And then Harry Reid, of course, he was the Senate Majority Leader. They all went behind closed doors and just ran this bill through without any Republican support. Now, the Republicans did have the House and Senate when Obama was president. but they failed to come up with any alternative. And this is what I want to tell all you Republicans. If you know the policy is bad, you need to start drafting up something. The problem with this political system is government takes too long to get anything done. Look, I work for the government, the Indiana Department of Transportation. And the problem with trying to get projects done, there's a lot of politics involved. And I believe with this health care bill, there's politics. Who else wants to get involved with this health care bill? Well, you got the pharmaceuticals, you got the doctors, you got lawyers, you got lobbyists, special interests, unions, everybody who wants a piece of the pie. Because Trump care or Obamacare light, I believe the rich would have benefited more off this bill than the middle class. The poor, they always benefit anyway because they can get insurance with their welfare programs. So it's not going to affect them. But it's people like myself who go out every day, put our nose to the grind. We have to pay for everybody. And this is why I tell individuals we need to get out of the mindset of being employees and start being employers. That way we can write off health insurance. Granted, it's very important that we all have health insurance. However, you don't want health insurance premiums that are too high. And you want to make sure that you are getting what you pay for. And the problem with government is, well, you get the minimum. You don't get the best. That's why I believe in private sector running the health care, because it works a lot better. Everybody talks about Canada. Yes, they have a single payer health program, but guess what? The Canadians are coming here for their care because they're in waiting lines in Canada. People don't tell you that. But going back to the Republicans. Republicans, this is a good thing that that bill didn't go through. Gives them a chance to actually put a bill through that makes sense. I know they want to repeal Obamacare. But you can't repeal unless you have a replacement. And you want to replace it with something that we all understand. So again, to review what I just said about what you can do for this health care bill if you're Republican. Number one, tort reform. We'll stop all these malicious lawsuits. Number two, umbrella insurance. And what I mean umbrella insurance, well, small businesses can get health insurance through the SBA, which is the Small Business Administration, or the Chamber of Commerce, which the trade-off would be they can get discounts. And of course, if you're a small business, you can write your health insurance off because it's an expense. Number three, we're already paying for it. So if you don't have insurance, you can go to free clinics. Number four, health insurance across state lines creates competition, free market. That way, when that happens, insurance companies will make money, but they're going to have to keep their prices that will be in tune to the market, supply and demand. Number five, government oversight. Again, what these insurance companies can charge. And number six, health savings accounts. If you start off using that platform that I mentioned, Democrats and Republicans can come to some common ground. Because if you don't, then why don't we go for the type of health care that the senators and Congress people have? They're on a totally different system. But yet, They're supposed to represent us, not the oligarchies like your lobbyists, your special interests, your big corporations, your unions. No, they represent us. We have representative government. It's funny that you have these legislatures who are basically living high off the hog. They're trying to put out a bill that doesn't make sense because they don't have to worry about anything due to the fact that they're living a different lifestyle. In other words, do as I say, not as I do. With that attitude, we need term limits for Congress and senators. So at the end of the day, be educated about what's going on with the health care, because health care is 1/6 of the economy. I would write to your congressmen and senators with trying to get this health care bill started again, because it is important. Right now, the law is Obamacare, and premiums are climbing. And if you're a working person, the wealth redistribution goes up and it goes down. Remember, it's the middle class who pay all the taxes, and they produce the goods and services for the rich and the poor through their hard work, because we make the corporations richer, because corporations get revenue, and we make the poor people richer because they get the programs based off of our tax money. So remember, when it comes to the healthcare system, we need to have a monopolistic competition. When that occurs, the cost will come down for your premiums. And also, you want to get what you pay for. You don't want to be paying a high premium and you get nothing for your insurance. That way, if you know what you're paying and there's no mandate, because I do like the fact that Trump Care would have had no mandate. And what I meant by no mandate, you wouldn't have to be penalized through the IRS for not having insurance. To me, that's unconstitutional. Insurance is a privilege, not a right. Should everybody get insurance? That's debatable. What I want to talk about, or what I'm talking about today, is how we can have a fantastic insurance system that we all should be able to abide by. You're not going to satisfy everybody, but if you can make sure the masses of people who are working have insurance, that's a step in the right direction. But at the end of the day, remember, you have to understand that it's the individual who must take care of their own health. And what I mean, when you're younger, don't take your health for granted. Because when you get older and you have a lot of problems, this is where you're going to need the insurance. So you have to decide. Do you want to maintain the current Obamacare, or do you want something different? The choice is ours. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show for this evening, Friday, March 24th, 2017. You can tune in to the 411 Talk Zone radio show every Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Guest calling number is 215-383-5785. And if you like my videos, please subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone radio show so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now, on this channel, I don't participate in debates, controversy, or emotional issues, nor do I participate in drama and or unnecessary bickering. It's counterproductive. This channel is for educational purposes. So what I do, I give you the tool so you can make good decisions in the real world so you don't have to struggle. So what you have here is reality, but it's positive. And I like to keep everything positive, particularly in the black community, because we're already going through enough divisiveness now with each other. So what I want to do is make sure that everybody understands that education is important and knowledge is power. And if you have a business or a topic that you would like for me to discuss on YouTube and or Blog Talk Radio, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. If you have a comment, please leave it in the comment section under the video. But make sure that your comments are pithy. No bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering if you wish to opine. And I'd like to say thank you for the shout out to the brother Real Deal. Connect to his channel. He's got some awesome information. Reg the Bad Guy, Internet Granny, Sweet June, brother Matt Coley, Rashawn DeLay, and there are others. We have to keep supporting each other because it's going to get rougher. But again, make sure you get to these brothers' channels because the information is educational as well. That's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other and have a wonderful and blessed night. Good night.